from the South African perspective. Dalmini maintains her spots in between the sticks, and Rabalembe, Kamande Magamba, and Gabriela Sagado maintains her spot leading the lines, and Jen, the captain, is also right there. As tough as it sounds, Quadri, what's the hope for Nigeria?
Well,
Mission X.
Definitely Mission X is very much on. Nigerian football fans will be hoping that the Falcons can get this one off the hurdle and probably, of course, qualify to the final, where they will be meeting either, of course, the Black Queens of Ghana or the Atlas Lionesses of Morocco, who play their own semi-final later today. The South Africans are playing a 4-5-1 formation with Super Sengwe leading the line for Desiree Ellie's side. So it's an interesting one. South Africans are not pushover. Unfortunately, there is no, of course, Katlana who misses out because she's unavailable in this tournament. But watch out for Matloto, beautiful player, jersey number 10 for South Africa. Sopon Sengwe, the leading attacker, Jane, the captain of the side, and of course, like you rightly mentioned, the goalkeeper Dlamini, who has also shot, of course, people from scoring her at this competition. It's going to be a tough one, but I know that the Falcons will be up to the task.
Yes, with a combination of attacking midfield possession, looking at the likes of Ajibade and Echejini Onyechi in the midfield, and Halimatu Ayinde protecting the back four. Where do you think this game is going to be won or lost? In the middle, up front, or the defense line?
Well, the Super Falcons are unchanged, like you rightly know. The Falcons have gone with the same lineup that played in their last game against Zambia and defeated Zambia by 5-0. Folashade Jamilusi keeps her place in the squad, so there is no space for Deborah Abiodun. Also, Rinsola Babajide, who started the first two games, is also not in this one. So it means that the Falcons have gone with a pretty interesting squad, and we've just seen the kickoff. So
yes, and with the kickoff is South Africa with the long ball, and Michel Aliozier trying to keep Sogado away from attack. Returns the ball back to find the teammate. South Africa keeping the ball, trying to build from behind as much as they are used to. And the Super Falcons will be hopeful, looking for a counter-attacking move. A long ball right into the defensive position, and Alozie steals that. Ajibade closed up. Alimatu Ayinde, and is cut off. Rather, Ijami Lucy brought down right there close to the touchline, and the center referee right at the spot picks the free kick. And it's a free kick to the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Well, I think good start for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. This is exactly one we want to see. Show that if we can get something similar to what we got in our last game against the Copper Queens of Zambia, maybe we might just hurt the, of course, South Africans. Of course, early free kick, like I just rightly mentioned. Danlami comes up but fails to catch.
Yes, and when you're under this and back into the field of action is right in center. Beautiful 1-2 passes, good shot, and are still edging forward, trying to create the damage here, and wins a free kick right at the edge of the box. And there is Halimatu Ayinde that is the culprit, and it's free kick to South Africa.
Well, free kick in a dangerous position, and that's the opening 2 minutes. Halimatu Ayinde, like you rightly mentioned, the culprit in this one. Well, it looked like a dive for me. Super Sense was not touched, but the referee has the final say, and she decided that it's a free kick, and so be it, a free kick for South Africa. Hopefully, the Nigerian girls will be able to defend this one.
And it's free kick. Chiamaka Nadozie right at the scene, observing and setting up the wall. Free kick to South Africa. And the hearts of fans panting. A game just 88 minutes away. 2 minutes played out of 90. Let's free kick. Delivered right into the box. And Osinachi Ohale, the ball struggling around and straight into the palms of Chiamaka Nadozie, right at the spot with an easy grip.
Well, early scare for Nigeria, but of course, Chiamaka Nadozie, who has kept a clean sheet and are opening 4 games in this competition, is definitely up to the task for Nigeria.
Echejini picks the pass, finds Ihezuo back to Echejini, cuts the ball back, looking for the upshot, finds Ayinde. Poor pass, still wins it. Chejini finds a way around the box. Could this be the first chance for Nigeria? Still struggling. Goes for the cross and is blocked. And a corner kick prevented. Jamilusi. Pass intercepted. Alozie finds Plumter. Ashley Plumter keeps the ball. Delivers a low cross. No one there.
Well, interesting there for Nigeria. That could have been the first goal. Echegini probably should have had a better decision in that place. Had the ball on her favorite left foot. Should have taken the chance to cross in early or take a shot there. But she wanted to do too much, and Nigeria did lose that chance.
Ashley wins it to find Esther Koronkwo. Keeps the ball alive. Cuts the ball back, and Jamilusi struggling to control is Ashley Plumter again. Back to Echegini. Looking for a shooting chance. Finds Michelle. It's Ajibade, the skipper. Delivers a cross into the box. Forced to the chest and slows in!
What a chance for Nigeria there. What a chance for Esther Okoronkwo to put Echegini, I beg your pardon, to put Nigeria ahead after just 4 minutes. That was very close. Very, very close to the first goal in this game.
Great cross from Ajibade. It finds the chest of Esther Okoronkwo. And Echegini could...
Flag was up. Unfortunately, the flag was up for offside, so that would have not count for Nigeria there. But I think it's the bright start that we want to see from the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Breath of relief for the South Africans, and it's offside. A quick start as the coach Justin is dishing out instructions from the technical area, and it's Ayinde who wins possession here. Sinachi Ohali delivers a pass. Star Koronkwo commits a foul. It's caught by the eagle-eyed assistant referee. Ajibade trying to plead innocence on behalf of the teammates. Player back up. Monday back up. Her feet. As South Africa wins a free kick. Seems to be rolling in pain, but the medics will be needed. A quick start. Finds Jane right at the center of the pack. Jabadi trying to steal possession here. It's possessed. Falls back. And the Cheji needs muscles to open it out. Picks the run off. Here's who is closely marked, looking for the escape right out of the tight spot. Keeps the ball alive. Back to Plumter. Challenge. Ayinde commits another foul. Second foul in just 5 minutes of the game.
She should watch it. Amelie look at Setula in this clash, and will not be good for the Super Falcons. But so far, so good. I think I'm quite impressed in what I've seen from the Nigerian Super Falcons. But last time both sides met, obviously, was the Olympic qualifiers, and we know the result. It was Nigeria who won South Africa over both legs and went on to qualify for the Olympics. But I would say I've been impressed with the way the girls have started this particular encounter.
All right, long ball in, and it's Dimeyi Oluwatosin that shoots the ball to win the throw-in. As Chiwendu Ihezu was still struggling on the left-hand side of the attack, trying to connect with quick passes to find the Echegini. Back to Ayinde Plumter. Trying to pick Jamilusi. The pass cut off. And Esther Koronkwo wins the ball. Great strength from the forward. Trying to pick the perfect pass. And it's Ihezuo looking for the run. Picks the tight spot. Delivers a low cross, and it's intercepted. In the danger zone there, and South Africans with great composure still holding on to possession here.
Well, I think I've been pretty impressed with Nigeria's attacking players. Chiwendu Ezua, Esther Okoronkwo, and Jennifer Echegini, mobile players who are moving the ball well, who have shown that they can do well with the ball at their feet. One thing that we must be very careful is looking to go to sleep in the defense line, because South Africans can also be quite dangerous on the attack if we let them get any sniff at our goal.
All right, Ashley Plumter picks the pass, delivers a long cross into the box to find Hezuo, who is left with just one defender to beat pass. Goes for the attempt on goal, and just the tip of the fingers of the goalkeeper stops that wonderful attack from the Super Falcons as it's corner kick to Nigeria.
Well, beautiful long ball again from Ashley. She's been everywhere in the attack, in the middle of the defense, and of course, even in the left-hand side of the defense. Beautiful pass to let go of Chiwendu Ezo, who held a marker before unleashing that beautiful shot. But goalkeeper Dalami was very much to the tax at that point, and it's a corner kick for Nigeria. Like I said earlier, the attacking play of the Super Falcons have been very impressive so far, and just makes you wonder what exactly was Madugu thinking, keeping a player like Ezo on the bench in the opening 2 games at the Women African Cup of Nations, because it's shocking. She's been a game changer. She scored about 3 goals, if I'm not mistaken, so far for Nigeria at this tournament. A player like this should be the first name on your team sheet any day, anytime.
Yes, could just be keeping the best for last, as Nigeria.
Maybe, just maybe.
Nigeria has a corner kick. Ajibade sends the cross in, and it's blocked back to Ajibade right at the edge of the box. Another cross sent in to find the heads of Plumta, and straight into the hands of Lamine, the goalkeeper for South Africa.
But I think the Falcons are knocking. We cannot deny it. Jamilusi with the corner kick, of course, then had the chance to take the ball again and send it back into the box. And she did it so perfectly well with Ashley Plumta. Always in the box at the right time. And when you need her, heading that ball, but not to the trouble of goalkeeper Dan Lamy. But I would just say that the Falcons, if they can keep this pressure on the South Africans, the first goal in this game will come very, very soon.
Philo Jane picks the pass, and it's Banyana with the cross, and it falls to Chejini. Clears the ball off to safety, and it's thrown to South Africa. Quick one. Both sides still a stalemate here. No goal scored at the first 5 minutes. Now edging up to the first 10. And it's a tough encounter here. The Super Falcons on Mission X, and the South Africans, the defending champions. Super Falcons with history on their shoulder, and with the South Africans, the trophy to fight for.
Well, definitely. This is the 12th time both sides are meeting at the Women African Cup of Nations, and of course I started as far back as the year 2000, and it's been a ding-dong affair between two great nations of women football in Africa who have shown their capacities over the years. For the Falcons, 9-time champions. For the South Africans, have won it once. We wanted to win it for the second time.
A long ball to find Esther Koronkwo. The ball saved Esther, still fighting another opportunity. Goal line clearance from South Africa.
What a chance. What a chance for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. That was very close to the first goal in this encounter. The long balls is causing plenty of problems for the South Africans. They surely cannot deal with the long balls, but the Falcons need to keep their composure in front of goal. First it was, of course, Esther Okoronkwo, and then it was, of course, Chiwendu Ezo. That should have been the first goal. That should have been the first goal, Israel.
Yes, great positioning, great pass, and Esther Okoronkwo not being able to punish South Africa there, and it followed to Chiwendu Ihezuo and could not do the same, but it was blocked at the goal line, and now it's back to South Africa who holds possession.
Well, I think Desiree Ellis has a lot of work to do so far. 12 minutes played in this game, and South Africa look like they've been disjointed, I beg your pardon, so far. The Super Falcons have had the upper hand in this game. They've shown the intent they want to bring to this game, and I must say kudos to Coach Justin Madugu. I'm quite impressed with what I'm seeing so far of these girls going for every ball, and of course moving the ball rightly, and Nigeria do have a free kick there.
Free kick to the Super Falcons. Esther Okoronkwo cut right from the heels by Makubela, and free kick to one of Nigeria's dangerous ladies on the pitch. And it's free kick, obviously. It's going to be a long ball into the 18-yard box. Trying to pick the head of Osinati Ohale, Ashley Plumta, and many more options as the Nigeria still pressing forward to get one goal up. And it's Esther Okoronkwo to take the set piece. Delivers a long ball into the 18-yard box. Jamilusi fighting for the ball. Chejini wins possession. Back to Esther. Sloppy one from Esther as she's dispossessed. And there's South Africa trying to pick Sogado on the counter attack. And great defending from
Alimatu Ainde.
Alimatu Ainde. Right at the spot. Back to Chiamaka Nadozie, the former player for FC Paris and now Brighton. Back to Michel Alozie. A long pass, but the pass seemed to have too much power.
Too much for Folashade Jamilusi there to chase, but I think good intent from Alozie. I was one of those who criticized her in the opening 2 games of this competition, and at some point I wanted a player like, of course, Sikrat to begin to start for Nigeria. That chance again, what a chance for us to score that first goal. What a chance, but massive kudos to the South African defense. They stood their ground, but beautiful ball there, beautiful chest control by, was it Esther Okoronko? Yeah. And of course, Chiwendo Ezo couldn't just finish it up. But so far so good. I must say, quite impressed with the Super Falcons. Plethora of chances they've missed, but the fact that they are showing attacking intent is a sign that the game might just be truly ours for the taking in this match.
All right, it's now South Africa on the counter-attack. Lamini delivers a cross in, and Ashley Plumter with a decoy move to confuse the attack move of the South Africans. And it's Chiamaka Nadozie with the ball, looking for the option as the 5 countdown begins. She released the ball to Dimei Oluwatosi. Finds Ashley Plumter. Chejini looking for the space. Ball gifted away. Alimato Ainde trying to block the pass. Ramalempe picks the pass here. Right on the right-hand side of the attack. The South Africans are looking for a breakthrough, looking for the space to make that sublime pass. And the Nigerians not giving that breath. South Africa holding on to ball possession. Bani. Back to Makubela. Back to Bani. Delivers a long pass. And Michel Alozie and gives it away. And Jamilusi helps out. Falls to the skipper. Ajibade. Trying to go for a long ball there to pick Yezuo, and a clash. The coach not being excited.
That should have been a foul for Nigeria. I feel the referee missed it there, but it looked like a clumsy challenge from South Africa, and Yezuo has retaliated, and it's a free kick to South Africa.
Nigerians will just have to be very careful and not being too anxious to win every ball, as that might cost unnecessary free kick right at the very dangerous areas, especially at the edge of the 18-yard box. And it's free kick to South Africa. And that replay saw that hard knock on Yezuo ignored by the center referee. Back into the scene of action. Free kick, and Ashley Plumter is the culprit. Nigeria with 4 shots on goal and South Africa just 1. And it's free kick. And Malempe wins a free kick off the boots of Plumter. Clumsy challenge from the left back. Quick start from South Africa. Trying to pick the pass, and it's wayward in the end. Esther Okoronkwo finds Ajibade, and it's Alozie looking for the perfect pass. Jamilusi Folashade delivers a cross, and it's blocked. Still fighting to win possession again. All balls launched into the 18-yard box, looking for the perfect cross to pick the chest of Esther Okoronkwo, who is very good with chest ball control. South Africa trying to pick the pass. Kosinachi Ohale. Plumter delivers a long ball, and it falls to Esther, struggling to control, but the flag up.
Well, I think the Super Falcons do have a game plan, but I would love to see a change in that plan, because we've been going long every time we have the ball to find spaces behind the South Africans. Unfortunately for the South Africans, height is not to their favor in the defense line, but they are now keeping it a very tight high line. So it means that the Falcons will now need to find another alternative instead of launching the ball above the South Africans. Probably maybe play the ball through the channel and then see if one of our players could run. I'm impressed with the way Alozie and Jamilusi have have created space for themselves on the flank, playing just in front of Alozie. Maybe that could work for us, but I think one thing that stood out for me is the fact that the players understand the task ahead. This is a better performance than what we saw in the group stage of this competition. Somehow, the Falcons have stood up to every test the South Africans have put in this game. And even though we've not seen any goal close to the opening 20 minutes of this encounter, it is just between space that the Nigerians may just get the goal.
And that was a clear-cut, sublime pass from the South Africans to find the space right at the edge of the box. But a weak shot in the end, as we could have that. And clearly, easy grip for Chiamaka Nnadozie. A clear-cut pass, sublime pass to find Jermaine. And right there, the shot weak and lame in the end is Esther Okoronkwo. Steals the ball, keeps the ball alive, looking for the option, but pushed the ball a bit too hard. Still fighting to win the ball again. And the decision, not corner kick, as the ball is still kept alive by South Africa. Kabamende finds the experienced Linda. It's Ashley Plumpton. Great defending from the left back. She wins a throw-in.
Fantastic defending there from Ashley to win a throw-in for Nigeria. It just shows why they call her Oyinbo, one of the most experienced in this team. A true leader for me. Maybe too early to call, but definitely when you look at Ashley, you just look at a future Super Falcons captain. She's giving an all. She was out of this team for a long time due to injury, but she's coming and she's slotting perfectly into the Super Falcons team.
All right, now Nigeria with ball possession here. Michelle Alozie picks the ball on the counter-attack, looking for the perfect option. Slots the ball right in between two defenders, and for last Saturday, Jamilusi struggling to control that ball as the ball falls back to South Africa.
Well, I think poor decision making there from Folashade Jamilusi. She should have done better. I should have expected better from a player of her caliber. That ball fell to her kindly, but of course her indecision got the better of her, and she couldn't control the ball to her feet. Probably we could have just been seeing a good chance for Nigeria to take the lead there.
Composed defending from the Super Falcons as the referee signals for rehydration break, as both coaches will seize the opportunity to dish out tactical instructions. What do you think should be the game changer for the Super Falcons, Quadri?
Well, for me, 20 minutes so far, it's been a great outing for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. The South Africans have done what I expected them to do, which is pile pressure, defend, knowing fully well that the Super Falcons come with a very dangerous attacking style after defeating and, of course, pummeling Zambia in the last game. South Africa have not had a great tournament so far in this competition, even though they beat Mali by 4 unreplied goals. Of course, just some few Nigerian journalists there. Of course, great to see some of them enjoying themselves. Some of our colleagues there out there watching this game. But like I was saying earlier, I think for me, what Coach Danjuma has done is the fact that he's been able to now understand what works for his team, and that's what has stood out for me. The fact that the Super Falcons now have a direct plan, unlike what we saw in the group stage of this competition. Now the girls know what they are playing for, the girls know what they are fighting for, the girls know what they want on the field of play, and there's a lot of chemistry among the players. We now see Echegini, of course Esther Okoronkwo and Chinwendu Ezu find a way, to make sure that the ball moves around them. And of course, Captain Ajibade has finally come to the party at this African Cup of Nations, and that's beauty. And that's the beauty of what we want to see in a competition like this. Sad that the stadium is not jam-packed for the fans to enjoy beautiful football. That's where CAF will need to do plenty of work in scenarios like this. But for me, I think I'm impressed, but the Falcons should now begin to now take their chances. We are creating the chances, but it's high time we now take those chances to find the first goal in this game. For South Africa, it's so sad. I think that might just be the end of the game for one of their players.
Yes, sorry, rather than a Rehydration break, it's Makubela who is being stretched out by the medic, having sustained a little bit of discomfort around the thigh region, as play will continue with a drop ball for Chiamaka Nnadozie.
Well, fortunately for Tiseto Makubela, of course, the South African centre back, 28 years old, just who now probably maybe need medical attention, and maybe Desire Ellis might be forced to a first half change in this particular game. I'm sure she will not want that because it automatically also changes the style of play. And
a long ball in, and here's who almost stealing the ball away there, but clashed into the part of the goalkeeper and Dile Dlamini, as she's going to be cautioned by the center referee, by the referee who's in charge here. Great pass from Chiamaka Nadozie, but went straight into the path of the goalkeeper to make it an easy catch. Clearly, it would have been better if that pass was slightly away from the 16-yard box, which would have given Herezu much of the opportunity to steal the ball. But in the end, she commits a free kick.
Well, I think so. The fact that she could have just tried to get quicker to the ball before Dan Lamy, but unfortunately, Lamy, I beg your pardon, but unfortunately, the goalkeeper was there first. Probably taking her time on the grass. I think the weather is quite hot there. Probably needs some few minutes to get her strength and get back up. I hope it's not a serious injury for South Africa, because it's good for all your best players to be on the field of play. Just a few minutes ago, they had to, of course, stretch out Makubela, I beg your pardon, who was injured. And now if you have the goalkeeper also joining, we're just about to see probably a change for South Africa coming into this one. So jersey number 8 will now need to come into the team for South Africa. So talking about Hilda Magia into it, and unfortunately for Makubela, it is almost all impossible for her to return to the field of play. So hopefully Danami is back on her feet and able to play again.
All right, with Desire Ellis with very tough words that they know how to beat Nigeria, and they're very sure that they will win. But with a start, Nigeria almost 5 shots on goal and without any goal, and for South Africa, just 1 shot on goal. It clearly looks like if Nigeria will continue this way, create more chances and convert them, they might just have the day.
Well, definitely, South Africans, like we all know, have the boasting power or have the boasting right. They are defending champions of this competition. They just, of course, have what it takes to beat a team like Nigeria. In the 12 previous meetings, Nigeria has won 8. South Africa has been able to win 3 of the previous 8 meetings that the two teams have faced each other. But unfortunately, it's looking like a serious injury for the goalkeeper there, and because the second choice goalkeeper is just warming up, and South Africa have just made that change, and of course jersey number 17 has been replaced by number 8, Magia, has now come in. But for the Nigerian team and the South African team, Desiree Ellis was boastful. She said so, that when asked in the press conference that she's facing Nigeria for the opt-in time, and it looks like every time she meets Nigeria at the Wafcon, there's a different coach. She said it's not a problem, different coach, but still the same team. Nothing changes, and she's confident that our girls have what it takes to beat Nigeria. So she now needs to put that talking on the field of play and show result. Like they say in the local palace here, she got to working.
All right, back into the scene of action as action begins with a free kick for South Africa. Quick start. Find Lamini as looking to find the perfect pass right at the middle of the park, but Ijami Lucy closes the space. Sajibade cuts the ball back. Forced to Chiejini. Picks the option of Dimehi Oluwatosi. Plum tap. Great footwork from Plum tap. The ball dispossessed. Clearly, the South Africans still struggling to keep it up together. Too many loose balls from both ends. Ashley plumped up with the throw in. The Chejini struggles to control and is dispossessed. And it's Ihezu, the ball clear. Back to Osinachi. Went a free kick. Caught right off the ankle. Was lucky enough that the referee spotted the action. The experienced centre back for the Super Falcons. Lots of experience in the boots. And Osinachi Ohale will receive the services of the medic. As the Super Falcons keep pressing forward. One more huddle before the finals, before the Mission X crown, before the 10th Wafcon title. And it's all happening live at the Lambizuli Stadium in Casablanca, Morocco. It's few minutes, 28 minutes played in the first half of this encounter, and the pressure is still high. The Super Falcons still looking for a breakthrough. And it's free kick to Nigeria. Dimei Oluwatosin with a long ball, and it falls to South Africa. Dispossessed. And now it's Magia on the counter-attack here, looking for the perfect pass. As Chejini makes the defensive cover and clearance, throwing to South Africa. Quick one from Salgado. Delivers another dangerous cross right into the box, and it's plumped out with the header. Gabriela Salgado with the dangerous cross. When we look at the number 5 jersey, we'll remember Onome Ebi, a legend of the Super Falcons. South Africa struggling off Ashley. As Ashley wins the ball and crosses. Great clearance from the left back. It's throwing to South Africa. Pass half the hour mark here. And it's still a stalemate. Both sides still looking for a breakthrough. Dlamini.
Well, I think South Africans have come into this game better. They've now been able to settle quickly. The opening 10-15 minutes of this game was all Nigeria. And unfortunately, our girls did not take full advantage of the chance they got. Right now, South Africans are now growing in confidence, playing the ball, and having chances at goal of Nigerian goal post. I just think that the girls should not lose focus, because if they do, this South African team look like a team that will punish them at the slightest advantage.
Yes, and we'll have just replicated what was done against the Copper Queens of Zambia, getting our goals very early in the first half. And then with 30 minutes into game without any goal, South Africans are beginning to bounce back. And then they have the first clear-cut chance, and a wayward cross in the end from the forward, as Nigeria wins a goal kick from Ramalembe. Tried to deliver that cross to peak the head of Gabriela Salgado, but breath of relief for Nigeria as it was wayward in the end. Kimehi Oluwatosi finds Ihezu. Plumb tap. Delivers a long ball, and Esther Koronkwo is the target as she forced the Dlamini of South Africa into a throw-in situation. Let's throw into Super Falcons. Ihezu. Back to Ashley. Corner kick to Nigeria. Multiple dangerous heads edging into the box. Ashley pumped an upshot, and we could see her giving words to Ijami Lucy on how to deliver the cross. And this could just create the first scar for South Africa and the first hope for Nigeria.
I think Ashley, like you rightly mentioned, we've seen it before. Jersey number 5 on Omaya Ebi, a true born leader, all-round player, and it just tells you how much you want this team to succeed.
A long cross into the box and straight into the hands of Dlamini. Not scared, composed. And great grip on the ball. Jamilusi steals possession. Finds Esther. And infringement spotted by the referee. Gabriela Salgado looking for the space, closed up by Chejini, doing a whole lot of the job here. And makes us wonder, where is our Kante? Abiodun Deborah.
You see, I think that's where discipline also comes to players. Unfortunately, during the training session yesterday, she was asked a few questions before the Falcons training, talking about Deborah Abiodun, where a journalist called her, I love to call you my yellow card magnet. And of course, the first statement she said was she doesn't like to be addressed as that. She doesn't want to come into games to pick up yellow card. But it was clear, you know, it is sad that a player who plays a very vital position in a team plays 2 games back-to-back and is picking up yellow cards. It just tells you one thing: discipline is the hallmark of great players. And if you are going to be a risk to the team, no coach will want to gamble on you. And I think that's what is just happening with Deborah Abiodun. Definitely, the talent is there. We cannot doubt the fact that she has been one of the best midfielders Nigeria has got in the last couple of years. But the truth is that beyond just playing the ball on the field of play, you also need to be disciplined in key games. Because when a player picks up a yellow card in the opening session of the game, let's say in the first 10-15 minutes of that game, it becomes a huge problem. And if care is not taken, she then goes on to pick another yellow card, the team will be down to 10 men and becomes a bigger problem for Nigeria. So for me, I think that's one of the reasons why the coach has put her on the bench. And Folashade Jamilusi, who has not been drafted to the attack to allow Rashida Tajibade come well into the midfield, has also done the job very well. So for me, she now needs to work. Because at some point, the Nigerian midfield trio was Uchebe, I beg your pardon, was Alima Tuainde, and Deborah Abiodun. And these 3 players looked like they were unseparable, because every time you needed them to deliver, they were always delivering for Nigeria. But right now, Uchebe is on the bench, Abiodun is on the bench, and it's only Ainde who is starting. So it means that there's always chance for new players who have impressed to always come into the starting lineup.
All right, back into the scene of action where South Africa has lion's share of ball possession, goes for that attempt there. Still confused if that was a pass or an attempt on goal. So another chance, an infringement of the boots of the Ihezuo, but ignored by the referee, who thought otherwise. Esther Koronko flicks the header. Ihezuo trying to power way through. And what's the decision of the referee?
Play on. Well, she put a whistle in her mouth like it was going to be a free kick or something. And then she decided to do a play, to give play on rather in that one. I think Ihezuo is causing problem. Her power, her physicality is a problem. Well, she was very lucky. That could have been a foul to South Africa. Very, very lucky there with the shirt stock and pulling and all of that. But it just tells you that it's very difficult for a player that strong to bring her down. Kudos to what Ihezuo has been doing so far for Nigeria.
All right, it's a free kick to, goal kick. So a little bit of power tussle right between Kamende and Rashidat Ajibade right at the edge of the box. But obviously, no free kick at all for either side. It's goal kick. Strong clash there. But we could see Momijio Rashidat back on her feet, strong and steady. Goal kick to South Africa. Quick one. Back to the center back who picks Dlamini. Tactical adjustment with Nigeria just making 53 accurate passes and South Africa 99. Bit more accurate when it comes to passes. Nigeria just looking for the breakthrough off counter-attacks, trying to utilize the pace of and the power of Esther Koronko and Chiwendu Ihezuo. A long ball from South Africa. Michelle Alozie picks the pass, finds Esther. Shoots the ball, trying to pick Alozie from back heel pass. Ajibade.
Good play there from Ajibade to open up the ball.
It's Ihezuo. Cuts the ball back for Ashley. Chejini. Beautiful footwork, looking for the perfect pass, and it's closed up. Back to Halimatu Ainde, the most steady midfielder for Nigeria. Chejini. Dimehio Luatosi. Back to Plumta. Slips off, and it's thrown to Nigeria. Very hard attempt there. Very beautiful skill from Echejini. And Nigeria dispossessed. Michelle trying to steal the ball off, and the ball cleared off South Africa danger area, and it's South Africa on the counter attack here. A 2v2 situation. Cuts the ball in, the player looking for the option as the Nigerians rally around behind. And a long one on goal and way over the crossbar.
Well, not into trouble. Goalkeeper Chiamaka Nandozie, who has been enjoying this tournament so far. 90 minutes clean sheet in the first game, second game, third game, and of course, right here in the fifth game of this competition. And after 40 minutes, she's still yet to pick the ball from inside her net, or probably feel the net shake. If the net shake, they're either on top of the net or on the side of the net. So far, so good. I think the Falcons defense have been able to feel the test and stand the test of time that the South Africans have brought to them, rather. And it just tells you one thing, that the team is progressing as the competition goes on. We all knew it was not going to be an easy encounter in this particular game. Yes, even though we thumped Zambia by 5-0. But I must say that if we're clinical in the opening 10 minutes of this match, it could have already been a drubbing for South Africa, because the Falcons had got 3 good chances to have scored 3 good goals in the opening 15 minutes of this game, and probably would have been seeing a 3-0 win for Nigeria right now. But football is not played just by passing the ball around. The goals are only scored when you put the ball at the back of the net, and since we are yet to do that, and that's why the scoreline remains goalless after 40 minutes. But for me, I think South Africans have grown into this game and are now, dictating the game for Nigeria, and we're now playing the game by their pattern. You said it earlier, the South Africans have completed more accurate passes than the Super Falcons. We've been giving too many long balls, and they're not connecting to the right players. It just tells you that we need to do better and do more to ensure we get exactly what we want.
A long pass off for South Africa, and a short attempt just sweep past the face of goal. A great, almost causing a scare for Super Falcons. And one clear-cut long ball for South Africa. And the defense line almost bit in there. And Magaya went for the shot. We saw tactical adjustment. Magaya came in for the injured center back and was brought in. And then we saw Dlamini just slotted back into center back possession.
Yeah, she came in for Makubele, who went out injured earlier, and of course Magaya has now moved to the midfield. It just tells you that the Israelis did do a tactical switch. The team started with a 4-5-1 formation, but it now looks like they've now gone to a 4-4-2 formation for what we have seen so far.
Yes, clearly, as Nigeria still looking for the breakthrough here. 4 minutes away from regular time of the first 45 minutes. Quick pass to find Ihezuo, who is looking for Jamilusi. And the pass just coiled around. Jamilusi cuts the ball, still looking for the shooting space. Jamilusi trying to pick at Jibade, and not the best of passes.
Definitely not the best of passes, but beautiful play for Jamilusi. First, a good control. Goes past the first marker, but couldn't keep the ball just in well to set up Rasheedat Ajibade, who would have had a perfect opportunity, to lace the ball into the back of the net for Nigeria's first goal. We need to find our first goal before the end of the first 45 minutes. South Africans are now defending for their lives, and hopefully the goal arrives very soon.
A long throw from Michelle, and Esther Koronko caught with an infringement. Free kick to the South Africans. A long ball in. And the referee spotted slight touch. Great work from Ijami Lucy. Just the final touch being the issue there to connect with Rashidat Ajibade. Ijami Lucy dispossessed again. Sogado. Gabriela Sogado trying to pick the pass. Space closed up. Ajibade finds Esther Koronko. Picks Halima Ainde. Ijami Lucy goes for the one-time blast. And a penalty!
Yes!
Penalty to Nigeria. The referee right at the scene of action. And the ball straight into the arms of the defender for South Africa. And reaction of disbelief of Desire Ellis. Great work from Ijami Lucy. Sends the ball.
Beautiful turn from Ijami Lucy.
And Bane is the culprit here. An unfortunate handball scenario. As it might be checked out by the video assistant.
I don't think it needs to be checked. It is clear and obvious. The hand was not in a natural position. There is no need for the VR to even have any kind of look in that situation. Her hands were clearly not in the conventional position. And the moment she stretched her hand and to deny Ijami Lucy a chance to cross the ball into the box to find a Nigerian player, it meant only one thing and one thing alone: a penalty for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And of course, it is captain of the side, Rashidat Ajibade, Mommy Gio, to take it.
Yeah, a protest there from the skipper for South Africa, but ignored by the center referee, who actually spotted that incident by herself. And it's penalty to Nigeria, and hopes lie on the shoulders of the skipper, Rashidat Ajibade. And that's the score!
Goal!
Great goal to find at the right bottom corner. And it's the first goal right at the 44th minute. The 45th minute for Nigeria. Goal for Nigeria. Goal for Mission X. And a possible ticket into the finals.
Beautiful goal there from Rashidat Ajibade to put Nigeria ahead in this particular one. Of course, it's from the penalty spot, from 12 yards, but she kept her cool and her calmness and composure to put Nigeria ahead in that one, even though goalkeeper Dan Lamy got a hand on it. That was a poor penalty, if you ask me, at the second time of watching. But Nigerians will not care, because all we care about is the first goal goes to the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Well, it is Ajibade with the goal for Nigeria, our first of this competition, if I'm not mistaken, and to put Nigeria ahead. And just look at the expression of coach, of course, Justin Madugu, excited with what he's seen so far. Like I said, the Falcons have been playing the best football. They've been asking all of the right questions. All he needed was the goal before the first half.
And the South Africans pulling all mercenaries all out to get a possible equalizer before the end of the first half, and we are moved into the 46th minute out of the 3 minutes of added time. And it's South Africa pressing forward. Gabriela Salgado, space left, looking for the cross, delivers the cross in, and no one to connect. Ball set back. Force and a one-time blast by the skipper, Refilo Jane. And it's goal kick in the end. South Africa yet to concede from open play from Nigeria in the last 3 matches. And even in this one, it's off the penalty spot. But nevertheless, it's still Nigeria with a 1-goal lead.
Well, definitely, the Super Falcons will not care whether the goal comes from a penalty spot or it comes from finding a way to throw the ball into the back of the net with the legal means. The most important thing is that we've got the first goal we need. A goal that if we can't keep this lead going into halftime, it will be the South Africans who will be under pressure coming into the second half of this game. The last time, like rightly mentioned, Black Cup of Nations was at the 2022 edition, the opening game, where the South Africans beat Nigeria by 2-1. In fact, that game was unfortunate for a player like Azizat Ashwala, I beg your pardon, who got injured in the opening minutes of those games and of that game, I beg your pardon. And it all meant that our tournament ended in a premature manner, maybe affected the Super Falcons at the last Wafcon. And we saw a not too impressive performance for the Falcons under former coach, talking about, was it Thomas Denebi? Randy Wardrum, I beg your pardon, was our coach at the 2022 edition. And we finished our worst Wafcon till date. And hopefully, we're able to get one past South Africa, the defending champions, and then go straight to the final.
All right, back in as Esther Koronko caught offside as Nigeria was. That's just the blast of the whistle of the referee that sends us into the tunnel for halftime. But it's Nigeria with the crucial goal off the boots of the skipper Rashidat Ajibade right at the penalty spot at the 46th minute. Do you think Nigeria can sustain the lead up until the second half?
Well, we've been the best team so far. Let's be honest with ourselves. The Super Falcons have been the best team in this game. Maybe not by distance, but the first opening 20 minutes was for the Falcons. South Africans came into the game after the 20th minute up until the 40th minute, and the Falcons took charge again towards the end of the first half. So for me, I think the goal we scored is a well-deserved goal, a goal we deserve for the performance we've done so far in this encounter. Now, Justin Madugu must now tell his girls for the next 15 minutes when they go into the tunnel at halftime to now say, you know what, we have one hand on the final, but we are not there yet. We need to be very careful. This team are a very dangerous side. They know how to play, they know how to attack, and if we let them off the hook, they will definitely come back to hunt us. So far so good. I think the 1-0 scoreline is a fair reflection of what Nigeria has done so far. I expect us to also add more goals, and I'm happy with what I've seen of the girls. Everybody in every department have done their best in this game. It's only for them to now consolidate on the first half performance and hopefully get a better second half performance.
From the tactical perspective, I think that Nigeria is switching between the 4-3-3 and the 4-4-2 formation, where you have Rashidat Ajibade coming into the flank, giving opportunity to Jamilusi to also provide defensive cover of Michel Alozie. But as it stands, is Nigeria with the lead, and we hope all things stays equal as we continue on Mission X.
Well, definitely we hope all things will stay equal as we continue on Mission X. Don't forget to follow us on all social media handle. Of course, Football Temple is the page, and when you check under the scroll bar, you will see all of our social media handle are displaying to you. We are bringing you live coverage of the first semi-final between the Super Falcons and the defending Women African Cup of Nations champions, the Banyana in the Wafcon 2024. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back for the start of the second 45 minutes, and we'll open for predictions. Now we'll be taking predictions, and the predictions will end just at the start of the second 45 minutes. And the prediction is who scores Nigeria's next goal? Or shall I say, who scores the next goal in this encounter? Now drop your predictions under the YouTube comment, and we'll be reading it, and of course including what you think will be the scoreline of this game, and then we'll be rewarding one lucky person with a brilliant, huge amount of money that will make you smile to the bank. After this game, you sit down and tell yourself, I enjoyed watching the Super Falcons game on this channel. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back for the second 45 minutes. first semi-final of the Wafcon 2024. It is Nigeria who lead the Banyana of South Africa by a goal to the courtesy of the goal scored by captain of Nigeria, Rashidat Ajibade, just before half-time, scoring on the dot of 45 minutes before additional time in that one. Let's go straight back to commentary, and of course my man here, Israel Danjuma, will continue to take lead while I follow him just behind as we lead Nigeria to Mission X. Israel.
All right, so back into the scene of action where Nigeria almost got the first quick one right at the second half of these encounter of the mistakes of Dlamini, the goalkeeper for South Africa, and goal line clearance. So Nigeria now have a throw-in 45 minutes away of booking the space into the finals. You could see the cross off Ajibade, the goalkeeper struggling to have the grip, and Esther Okorong, Ihezuo rather, almost there to slot the ball into the back of the net, but set up for the clearance of the boots of Magama, the center back for South Africa. Rashidat Ajibade struggling to control, and it's Halimatu Ainde that wins possession. Dimei Oluwatosin, Nigeria yet to concede a goal at the Wafcon 2024. Plumtak finds Halimatu, back to Oluwatosin Dimei. Poor pass, Ashley. And it's thrown to Nigeria. Plumtak looking for the option, a long throw to find Esther. It's Esther Koronkwo, few body moves there. Keeps the ball, looking for the cross. Wins a throw-in the end. 2 minutes into second half. And Nigeria with the lead. And the goalkeeper, Lamini, down again. And it's unclear, think slight discomfort around the foot. Will need the services of the medic. Face of despair of Desire Ellis. Not what she expected. And is under pressure here.
Well, it is clear what you've just seen. The fact that Desire Ellis knows that her work is well cut out for her. You know, individual errors here and there from South African team. And it's not looking well for the goalkeeper. Talking about Dlamini. She dropped the ball there and could have been the second goal for Nigeria. Almost the second for Nigeria there. And now she looks in discomfort. Probably still of the injury she suffered earlier in the first half in this particular encounter. But she's back on her feet and we're happy for her. But I think the intent is clear once again. From the Super Falcons of Nigeria, press as high as you can press, do the needful very early, and of course try and see how well you can get a second goal in this particular one.
All right, back into the scene of action. Clearance from South African centre back, and it's Osinachi on the chase, and Dimehi Oluwatosin picks the ball, free ball, sends the ball right into the center of the pack and is dispossessed. Dlamini. Pius Gabriela Salgado. Back to Dlamini, the goalkeeper. Picks the ball, looking for the pass. Observe the Super Falcons, compact at the back. Rigid in the middle and athletic up front. Looking for that outburst of pace. And Ijami Lucy providing defensive cover for Michel Alozie. Michel Alozie. Ohale with the header. Michel struggling to keep it alive and is throwing this. Gabriela Salgado picks the pass, picks midfielder right at the pitch, Jane. And that's shortened, weak, and easily controlled by Inadozie.
Well, I think no trouble for the Nigerian goalkeeper. Of course, now plays football with Brighton and Hove Albion out there in the Women's Soccer League in England. Of course, enjoying herself in this tournament, yet to concede a single goal in this competition. And it will be a golden competition for her if she goes on to not concede. this tournament. I'm sure she will become the first ever goalkeeper to do so in the Wafcon history, even in the Afcon. I will need to check the history books very well to be sure that a country has come to even the Men's World Cup, the entire 7 games at the World Cup, and then close up shop without conceding a goal, going on to win the World Cup. It will be a record that will go down history and memory lane as one of the greatest ever record in football history, if she can. But so far so good. 50 minutes played in this game, and it's still 1-0 in favor of Nigeria. And South Africans now coming to ask the questions, but the Super Falcons, every time South African ask questions, do have an answer to it. I must say, I am pretty impressed with what Oluwatosin Demeyi and Osinachi Ohale have done. Now, this is the perfect mixture of experience and youth. Now, this is Tosin Demeyi's first ever Wafcon for Nigeria, but she's been at the Olympics game for Nigeria. I think she was also at the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, the last World Cup we played with Nigeria. And we've seen progression. We've seen progress from her. And Ohale, who has seen it all, been there, scored at the World Cup, has scored at this tournament already, has been able to use her experience, you know. We've not had Onome Ebi in the Super Falcons for the last 3-4 years, but we've had a certain Osinachi Ohale who has led the team from behind, allowing Ashley to also enjoy that role of playing as the left back. And for me, I think the centre back pairing have also done a pure man job. If you press Chiamaka Nnadozie, you must also hit the same praise on the centre back pairing of Ohale and Oluwatosin Demeyi.
Right back at the scene of action where the flag is up for Chiwendu Ihezuo, running to pick the ball off offside position. Demeyi wins the header. Busy afternoon for Halimatu. Ainde picks the ball. Ihezuo looking for the escape. And wins a free kick. Compact midfield. Ainde protecting the back four. Echejini having a very busy afternoon. And Rashidat Ajibade just looking for the perfect pocket of passes. Clumsy tackle from number 2 player of South Africa, Ramalampe, as Nigeria have a free kick. Flick from Okoronkwo. Ball cleared, but not long enough. Throwing to Nigeria. Strong at the back. Looking for the pressing opportunity. Plumtap picks, trying to pick Esther Okoronkwo, but a faulty pass in the end. Demeyi clears. Trying to peek for Lashade. Long one. Sinachi very much available. Still struggling to keep the ball. Almost gifted the ball away there. And save the course of Nnadozie Chiamaka right at the spot. Very athletic. Makes me wonder why Oluwehi was actually invited to the Super Falcons. Saw her in 2018. Was the goalkeeper in between the sticks when we defeated South Africa. Penalty shootout.
Well, it just tells you that everybody has their time, you know, and Nigeria has not been short of goalkeepers ever since the Super Falcons started playing football. Let's go down memory lane. Of course, remember even before Precious Dede, you know, and Chijene, of course, always putting on bandana in the early 2000s for Nigeria, you know, and then we had Precious Dede, fantastic goalkeeper, you know, was so solid in between the goal for Nigeria, you know, stayed at time for a very long time. At one point, you know, she played in between generations, you know, from the Mercy Akide kind of generation to the Perpetua and Kwacha kind of generation to the Cynthia Owak generation. She almost played in every generation, and then down to the Azad Oshwala early generations. You know, Mercy Akide was in and around, I beg your pardon, not Oshwala, Desire Paranoze, early generations. She was always in and out of the national team, and then we had to Chukwu Eloyi, also first choice goalkeeper, did that turn. But when the chance presented itself for Chiamaka Nnadozie at the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, it was in 2022 or so. She's not looked back when she made that, you know, fantastic performance against France. You know, it was 2018 World Cup also. She's not looked back at all, and she's held her own and has been a mainstay for the Super Falcons and she's been a very fantastic goalkeeper. For Oluwayi, this should be our last tournament. Age is also not on our side. I was, of course, opportune to see her just before the team left Nigeria for Portugal, where they had a friendly game before the Wafcon, and I can confidently say that the only thing I kept saying is, dear God, make Chiamaka no get injury. Because Oluwayi is not the athletic goalkeeper we used to see in the past, and she's now aged and looks like her best days are slightly behind her.
Clear cut pass right at the edge of the box, and it's penalty.
What a stupid decision from Oluwatosin Dimeyin. What was that?
Osinachi with a slight pull of the attacker. South Africa has to have a sight on the replay.
Come on. That's a stupid decision to do from of course, well, that looked like a dive for me, because Osinachi Ohale looks like she has no idea of what just happened. The VR will check. From the first look, it looked like she pulled her, but for me, Osinachi Ohale should do better. I was speaking about the experience she has brought to the team a few minutes ago. You don't do that in the box. It was not a danger. Chiamaka Nnadozie was up to the task of that ball and could get to the ball before, of course, the South African attacker, but the VR will probably check it. It looks like it will not go to VR, and it might just be a penalty to South Africa at the end of the day.
Yes, and Nigerians will be hoping for the penalty heroics of Chiamaka Nnadozie once again. That was not the best of options for Osinachi. Would have just left the center forward, as Dimeyin was already making efforts to close up the gap. Penalty to South Africa, and it's the skipper on jersey number 15, Refilo Jane. Looking for a possible equalizer. And can Chiamaka Nnadozie maintain a clean sheet here?
Well, I think there's a check for that penalty because, the central referee is asking all players to move back. The captain of South Africa still has the ball firmly in her hands as we wait for the decision of the VR upstairs to look at it and probably call the attention of the referee to then go and have a check for herself. For me, I think it looked like a dive, but of course, the VR will have the final say, but it was a clumsy challenge, no doubt about it, from Osinachi Ohale. You don't do that in a game of this magnitude at a time like this against a side like South Africa.
It was clear. It's going to be a very slim chance that it wasn't going to be a penalty. And when we look at the last AFCON, we considered against South Africa of the penalty spot. Same scenario we're seeing here. And we hope that Chiamaka Nnadozie perform one of her magic again.
Well, we hope that Chiamaka Nnadozie performs one of her magic. The decision is still being reviewed by the video assistant referee. And of course, it's now been confirmed that decision will stand and it will be a penalty to South Africa.
Penalty as Desire Ellis now step forward with hopes. And we're seeing a change from the penalty. It's now going to be Linda Budhaho to take the penalty here. Can Nnadozie come to the rescue? And she scores.
Well, a beautiful penalty taken there from Linda Matloho to send Chiamaka Nnadozie the wrong way. And it's the South African number 10, the danger girl I spoke of in the opening encounter, telling Nigerian fans to keep short and allow the South Africans play and watch them play. Of course, Desire Ellis has now come out of her shell, plays football in Racing Louisville in the United States of America. The 27-year-old, of course, stepping up to convert from 12 yards to equalize for South Africa. Stupid challenge, I must say again, from Osinachi Ohale. Nigeria have now considered a goal, even though not from open play. But the goal has come, and of course, Chiamaka Nnadozie has now been breached.
Yes, from the unfortunate penalty against South Africa to the awkward defending of Osinachi Ohale as South Africa off the penalty spot. as Nigeria will be pressing forward. Nigeria will be pressing forward for another match-winning goal. Dispossessed again for another match-winning goal. Dispossessed again, South Africans. Still edging forward as Ashley Plumter makes that defensive interception.
I think this is where my worry will now come in for Nigeria. The Super Falcons have not been in this situation. The team has come to equalize, and then we're now looking for another goal. Every time we've scored a goal at this competition, we've not conceded. So now this is where the mental strength of these girls come into play. And you could just see the moment South Africa scored the goal, we took, of course, the kickoff, and it was almost South Africa who won the ball immediately. It now tells you that Coach Danjuma needs to speak to these girls. You know what? Calm down. It is 1-1. We've got about 30 minutes to go in this encounter. It is not done and dusted yet. We still got this game under wraps.
All right, the substitution with Sesane coming in for Ramaplepe, as we have another opportunity here. So the hard knock off Chejene, who is taking a leap off, as she's also been attended to by the medic. Longwood. Now all hopes will also be on Esther Koronko. Nigeria now becoming shaky as with just 1 minute past the hour mark. A long ball in. Osinachi heads. And it's Jamilusi. Esther Koronko dispossessed. Sagado on the counter attack, looking for the cross. Great defending from Jamilusi. Wins the ball, cuts the ball in. Delivers the long ball, trying to pick Esther. Not set back for Rashidata Jibade, who is brought down. Hard challenge on the skipper. Nigeria now has a free kick. Battle of goal scorers there. Very skillful midfielder. Kerning can find passes in tight pockets of spaces. And the Chejin is still out. Free kick. Esther Koronko returns back to take. Delivers a long ball in. Looking for the option. Plumter with the header and nobody. I have my reservations of Esther Koronko stepping deep into defensive areas to take long free kicks. Now with that header off the head of Plumter, Esther Koronko was supposed to be there but wouldn't be because she took the free kick.
Well, it just tells you that probably maybe the game plan, she's maybe the best specialist, set-piece specialist in the team, and is taking it. I think Rashida Ajibade is not happy. I'm also seeing that the Super Falcons players are now looking leggy, and we are now seeing Nigeria's first change.
Yeah, Nigeria's first change, Christy Ucheibe coming in for Echejini. We hope to see a lot more of creativity right at the center of the park. It's been a very great day for the young lad at the middle, very busy evening, but it's the end of this encounter for her, and hopefully not the end of this tournament for her.
Well, hopefully not the end of the tournament for Esther Echegini. Echegini, of course, with Christy Uchebe, who plays football in Portugal, with, of course, Sporting Leão Benfica, of course, there in Portugal, a serial winner with Benfica in the Portuguese Women League, of course, winning titles back to back every season. But unfortunately, at this tournament, she finds herself not starting games for Nigeria, and has only started one, the third game in that goalless draw, where Nigeria played a lackluster goalless draw against the Women Foxes of Algeria. So we wait to see how this one pans out. Attacking, of course, our threat will be lost. Talking about Echegini's attacking press, We know that, of course, Uchebe is more of a ball winner and a ball distributor, but we also need the numbers in the midfield because South Africans have clearly taken over this game and have been the better side since they scored that goal.
All right, back into the scene of action. Another cross in. Danger one, but it's in at Dozier with an easy grip. The banana of South Africa detecting the play, controlling the pace of the game, but still pressing forward to Heaven's Gate. Christy Uchebe wins the ball. Halima Ayinde back in that Dozier. It's O'Hali. Finds Dimeyo Luatosi. Center back, edging forward. Poor pass. Could not connect with Plumta. Right now, clinical pass there, but move not well orchestrated. Chiamaka. Nadozie looking for a long-ranging option. Delivers a long ball. Finds Ijami Lucy. It's Ajibade. Jami Lucy looking for the space. Delivers a cross and great defending from the South African left back. Dlamini wins. Went for the slide tackle. And it's throwing to Nigeria. Michel Alozier to take this one. Quiet second half for Ihezuo and Esther. Esther looking for the turn, powering her way through. Blocked. Michel, poor pass. Dimehi sends a long ball in and straight into the hands of Dlamini. Jane sends the pass and it's awkward. Plumta finds Ihezuo. She kept the ball, Christy Ucheibe nods to no one. Long ball and Michelle Alozier on the chase. Jami Lucy keeps the ball alive. Poor decision and dispossessed.
The Super Falcons have looked a shadow of themselves so far since South Africa has got that equalizer. We've been losing the ball so easily, of course, holding on to the ball unnecessarily. And South Africans are enjoying and dictating the pace of the play so far. And I hope Christopher Danjuma is watching this game. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I hope our coach, Justin Madugu, I beg your pardon, is watching this game keenly to ensure that the Super Falcons don't let in a second. Because one thing I can tell you for free, that South Africans go on to take the lead in this game. Let me use our number word to take a miracle of epic proportion for Nigeria to come back and probably find that equalizer and probably then push this game into extra time. If we want to avoid extra time in this game, we definitely need to ensure that we win this game in 90 minutes and ensure the South Africans don't have it. South Africans are willing to go there. Their last game at this competition, we know how it ended. They went to the extra time against a team like Senegal, a very physical African side, West African side, and they were not bothered, going into extra time with Senegal and winning on a lot of penalties. What it just tells you tactically is that the South Africans do have penalty kickers, do have the legs for penalty shooters, and are not scared, to convert penalties. We saw the penalty. If we are to judge by the both penalties we've seen so far in this game, me and you will definitely say that the South Africans have played the better penalty. Ajibade's penalty looked a bit very poor, in this game. But for the South Africans, Linda Matlow, the penalty she took was absolutely brilliant. And it just tells you that maybe it might be a game plan for the South Africans. It is now time for Justin Madugu to ensure that game plan does not work. We've got players on the bench who comes into this time. It's now a decision to make and bring in attacking players that will probably, Erisola Babajide maybe come in, add a different kind of flair to what the Super Falcons don't have in this particular game.
Yes, so far we've seen Nigeria struggling on the flanks. Jami Lucy becoming the shadow of herself on the flanks, giving the ball away to South African defenders time and time again. And they're right in the scene of action. It's free kick to South Africa. Long going in. What's the decision? Throw into Nigeria. Long ball to find Esther. It's Jamilusi. Cuts the ball back. Looking for the option. It's Jamilusi powering her way through. Delivers across and it's wayward in the end. A young lad struggling with her final passes, a final touch. Now South Africa with a quick start. Bane back to Dlamini. Picks and Bane again. Nigeria caught offside 4 times. Christy Ucheibe. And Alimatu Ayinde trying to power way through and dispossessed. Can Plumter keep the ball alive? No, she can't. Throwing to South Africa. Long going in. It's a throw in.
But I think South Africans are enjoying the rhythm of the game, allow the game flow in the pattern they want, and clearly enjoying it, and will continue to enjoy it, and probably push the Super Falcons. They clearly have a game plan, you know. That maybe explains why Desiree Ellis was not under pressure when the Super Falcons took the lead. It looks like their game plan is simple, talking about the South Africans, the Banyana, or the girls if you want to call them that way. Stretch this game for as far as you can stretch, probably to extra time, and then try to hurt the Nigerians on the counter. The center referee is surely having none of that, and Ashley has been told to get up on her feet.
All right, quick goal kick. Finds Gabriela Salgado, a long pass in, and the player left almost on mark. Michelle making the recovery. Another player, Magama, left on mark right there, looking for the header. Could this just go in? And the man stops the ball right at the goal line.
Very close to the second goal for South Africa. I was just talking about the fact that the South Africans do have a game plan. You know, tire the game to the end, and hit the Nigerian guns on the counter, and just one long ball settling the Nigerian team. Now look at Osinachi Ohale and Tosin Dimeyin. Poor defending by both players. They could have done better. They were reading the motion of the ball and not the player that was coming in. Thankfully for Nigeria, Alimatu Ayinde did not entirely lose her marker, because if she had done that, it would have just been an easy one there, and South Africans might have just scored the second goal, and by now we would probably be saying it's a Sefini game set and match. South Africa probably through to the finals.
Free kick to South Africa. 17 minutes away from regular time, 73 minutes played. Across by Dlamini, right into danger area. The header, Osinachi, and she clears. Christy Ocheibe. Great pass to Peak. Ajibade. It's Michelle.
The legs are tired. I think Madugu needs to ring in the changes. It is time to bring in Shukrat, you know, on the right-hand side. Michelle Alozie clearly looks tired. You could see she couldn't make the run for that pass. If it's now the chance that Africa had came from the right-hand side, a long ball that was played, and her recovery rate was quite slow. Now Nigeria went for an attack. Unfortunately for her again, she couldn't keep up with the pace. So it's clear that all the Falcons need to do right now is to bring in fresh legs and extra players to change the shape of this game. South Africans have been better so far, and yes, we've just seen, if I'm not mistaken, the first yellow card of this encounter, and it's going to Nigeria's midfielder Alimatu Ayinde.
Yes, it's the ref had verbally cautioned her right from the beginning of the first half and down into the second half, and she has found her way into the books of the center referee. And when you have players in front not well coordinated, the defensive midfielder suffers, and at the end of the day, you suffer a booking. Now it's free kick to South Africa. Clumsy challenge on the boots of Jermaine And that chance again, almost in. Just save for Osinachi Ohale, who was right at the goal line. South Africa looking for an opportunity. Christy Ucheibe, Esther Koronko, and it's Rashidat.
Too much. Madugu needs to ring in the changes. I'm looking at the Super Falcons bench. You know, we've got Deborah Abiodun on the bench. We'll need to wonder whether he wants to change. But there's Tony Payne, you know, on the bench. There is, of course, Arintola Babajide and Ifeoma Onumonu also on the bench. It is looking like Chiwendu Ezu has now been checkmated by South African defense line. We need to also explore the fact that a player like Sikrat should come in for Michel Alozie on the right-hand side, give Nigeria more firepower going forward on the right-hand side, probably bring one attacker that could give us a bit of option when we have the ball in the front. I think Esther Okoronkwo still has the energy to go on, but she now needs that player that will connect with her, that has the strength that will connect with her for the balls to be able to unlock the South African defense. Because as it stands, South Africans are now dictating the play, enjoying the rhythm of this game, and should they take the lead, it might be very difficult for the Super Falcons to come back into this one.
All right, back into the field of action. It's Dlamini for South Africa. Pecks the pass on the far left. Back to Dlamini. Dlamini holds the ball, looking for the right pass. Finds a teammate. As South Africans kept at bay, kept at a distance. Dispossessed Ijami Lucy. Christy Ucheibe. Michel Alozie. Michel clearly looks tired.
See, it's clear, except Madugu is not seeing what we are seeing in this game, probably because we're watching from the screen and he's seeing the players on the field and probably cannot see beyond what his eyes can see at once. For me, I think that change should happen very soon for Nigeria before it becomes a danger if South Africans do get the second. They know that Nigeria's weak point is now on the right-hand side where Michel Alozie plays, and they've been trying everything possible to exploit that right-hand side to see if they can get a goal from there. After all, the goal they scored came from the right-hand side.
All right, back in where Nigeria has been awarded a free kick. On a quick start, Dimehi sent a long ball and to no one. Gabriela Salgado. South Africa's looking for an opportunity. Goes for goal! Just way over the crossbar. Nigeria losing concentration here.
Sopon Senwe, beautiful shots there. Good control. Set herself well, open up her body, but just couldn't get the ball enough, to beat the brilliant Chamaka Ndoze and go for Nigeria. But that was definitely a good striker for Sopon Senwe. But Chamaka Ndoze, even though did not get a hand to it, was also up to the task.
Quick goal kick. Nigeria struggling here. Ashley Plumter struggling to gain control, and it's throwing to South Africa. South Africa getting lion's share of ball possession, creating chances in the second half. And the coach, Justin Madugu, not looking excited with the performance of his players. A shot straight to the chest of the South African, who is now groaning in pain. And he's been lifted up by the medic. Quick start to find Osinachi. Ashley Plumter goes for a long pass. Long pass is not working. Short pass is not connecting either. Super Falcons struggling here. And clearly, the Banyana of South Africa in control of the rhythm. Ocheibe. Jamilusi slips and dispossessed. Ajibade goes for a long ball. Trying to find Esther. Okoronkwo is off position. Plum tap. Infringement spotted by the referee. And substitution. See Deborah Abiodun set to make her way in for Alimatu Ainde.
Well, I think Alimatu Ainde has done a great job in this game up until that yellow card she got. She was one of the better players for Nigeria in the first 45 minutes. Showed her strength in the second half to left to do the dirty job in the midfield. For me, I think she's done it well. She did it well, covering herself well in glory. But unfortunately, the yellow card was the only stain she got in this game. Abiodun has now come in. She now needs to watch it because she needs to be very, very careful. She already has a bad reputation for yellow cards. So I'm sure she will need to watch the kind of tackles she launched into. Am I surprised or happy with the kind of substitution I've just seen? The answer is definitely no. Even in as much as I wanted somebody into this game, I expected that the coach also makes a change in the attacking option for Nigeria. We've made 2 changes in this game, and both changes have come in the middle of the park. What is the essence of holding on to the ball when we cannot create chances with the ball? The problem is not the fact that we are losing ball easily. So that South Africans have been able to checkmate us and are doing it very well. And Nigeria is struggling to create chances up front. And for me, I think that's where we need to, improve. And that's why I want an attacking player, either Rinsola Babajide, to come onto the field of play, or possibly a player like Ifomana Onumonu or Sikrat on the right-hand side to come into this game of this match. Now, the coach must be very smart. We've got, even though we have 3 more substitutions, we can only make it once before the game goes into extra time. So, are you going to make 1 change, or are you going to make 2 changes? Now, it's the decision the coach must make, or if he's happy with what he's seen so far, then it means he's also prepared to go into penalties.
Yeah, I would have gone for double substitution. They're bringing in Abiodun alongside another attacker to boost the attacking line. But now, what he has just done is to ensure that we keep absorbing much of the pressure and hope for a counter-attack. And when you are hoping for a counter-attack and then you have all of your front 3 almost looking tired, it's going to take beyond a miracle to get one possible match-winning goal. But back into the scene of action, it's the Super Falcons of Nigeria with a free kick. And it's Esther Okoronkwo to take seven minutes away from regular time. Esther delivers a long ball into danger area. Ball flicked. And the opportunity from Abiodun, and an infringement spotted.
Something nasty looks like it has happened there. Very, very nasty collision. And it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, unfortunately, for the South African players, because from what we see, the Nigerian players have walked away and are holding their face in shock. And again, it is one player at the heart of it. It is Deborah Abiodun.
Very clumsy one there from Deborah Abiodun, and the player will need the emergency services of the medic. Attempted a bicycle kick there. And off the heads of Sesani.
It looks like it's a very nasty fall there. South African players are crying. This is not what we want to see. Unfortunately, we cannot show you footage of what is happening on the field of play. But if we get pictures from what has just happened, we'll definitely bring it to you. We cannot confirm yet which player is down on the turf, but it's looking extremely dangerous, and South African players are crying. It looks like a very, very nasty nasty challenge for the South African player. It doesn't look good. The medics are on the field of play and are attending to South African player, and it is now emotional in this game, and this is where football goes beyond normal. And the medics are attending to us swiftly, but I hope as South African player there is very much okay.
Yes, an unfortunate one for South Africa. Losing too many players to injury. And that very careless one.
But the player down, I cannot confirm to you, is Salgado, who is down, with what looks like a very nasty injury. But the ambulances have also been called up right now, and it looks like she will be taken straight to the hospital.
As we can see the coach trying to encourage the players to ensure that they are emotionally stable. A hit straight on the face. And we can see her groaning in pain and tears. As Coach Desire Ellis has called all the players together. Looks clearly like they're all emotionally distressed from that ugly incident. Nigeria hoping for one more final fight. As the clock keeps ticking to the end of regular time.
South Africans still look very emotional following the nasty injury on Salgado, who is certainly going to be substituted. But we cannot confirm yet what has happened to Salgado, but it doesn't look good from all indications from this end. The South African player looks to be in serious distress and will be attended to before the restart of this game. 87 minutes played so far. It is still Nigeria 1, South Africa 1, the first semi-final of the Women African Cup of Nations 2024 in Morocco. It is Nigeria. We cannot confirm that Salgado is now leaving the field of play, and she's been, of course, stretched out by the medics, and of course the entire stadium applauds her for what doesn't look good in the eyes of both the players and the fans. But good gesture from the Nigerian fans applauding Salgado as she leaves the field of play.
Fortunate one for the...
Well, there are no signs of blood in her face, but it's looking like her legs, because the leg is, of course, is packed in the stretcher. So it tells you that it might be a nasty fall that has happened to Salgado. And of course, we saw Nigerian fans shouting her name, Salgado, Salgado, Salgado. And we hope she comes back very, very strongly. And this is why we always say, even in football, a human passion must always come to bear.
All right, back into action. 88 minutes played. Still unknown what the other time would be. And it's substitution. Olweni coming in for the injured Gabriela Salgado. Quick one. Here's who trying to keep the ball, and the decision is throwing.
Well, it's clearly looking like this game goes into extra time, and of course, if one is probably looking at if this game can be won in 90 minutes, it is either the Super Falcons get a goal now before the end of this encounter, or South Africans get a goal, or we might just be seeing extra time and even possible penalties to separate this kind of encounter.
South Africa on the counter-attack here, and Osinachi Ohale on defensive duties again. Corner kick. Osinachi Ohale, having made that mistake, is getting a little bit distracted. More and more time again, almost giving the ball away in dangerous areas. She has to be very careful. It's getting towards dangerous time here for Nigeria. That ball should have easily cleared that ball with ease without soaking most of the pressure.
Well, it's clear that the penalty she gave out as unsettled Osinachi Ohale, the South Africans are now enjoying, the free flow of the game and are liking the way the game is playing out in their favor. Aside that, that unfortunate injury to Salgado for us naturally, I think this is where the psychology of the game comes in. You've done a mistake. You've made a mistake. They've scored the goal. What next? Let's move on. The mistake has been done. Let's move on. Forget the mistake in the past and let's play the game. Let's play let's face the opponent in front of us. And that's what Madugu should be telling her right now. Let the mistake go. The goal has been scored. We've considered. But what next? We now need to ensure that we've either find a winning goal or probably ensure that South Africans don't score, because if they do score at this dying minute of the game, it will almost mean the Super Falcons must then find what is more than a miracle to be able to get an equalizer before the referee will say it is time for every player to go into the dressing room or probably play for 19 more, extra time or game over, as the case may be.
The long ball cleared from the goalkeeper Esther Koronko, forced to Deborah Biodun, pass to Michelle. Great cut in.
Alozie could have released the ball at one hand. There was a player there. She could have just passed the ball, but too many indecisions guiding the Nigerian side. Beautiful play from the South Africans there, but dispossessed by Rasheedat Ajibade. I think South Africa are enjoying this, and Nigeria needs to do better.
Here's who are trying to power way through. Because she kept the ball alive with 6 minutes of added time. Ajibade delivers across into the box. It's trying to fall to Esther and just ahead of the defender. Changed the narrative here and just changed the direction of the ball with Esther waiting to lash onto the ball into the back of the net.
Well, that would have been a beautiful goal for Esther there, because she was waiting for the ball on her favorite foot, the left foot, where she would just, probably smack that ball into the back of the net. But the South African said, not today. Maybe another day, but definitely not today. So 6 more minutes for Nigeria to either find the winning goal, South Africa to find the winning goal, or both sides will have 30 more minutes to decide who goes to the final come Saturday.
Anxiety building up. The pressure is increasing here as Nigeria have a corner kick. And Esther Okoronkwo delivers a coiler into the box. Forced to Ajibade. She launches the ball in. Another option. Nobody making the touch. Esther Okoronkwo. And when we look so far, what are the hopes for Nigeria?
Well, it is simple. The girls need to do better. The girls need to ensure that they don't let the South Africans score. We need to ensure we try and get the next goal in this encounter, whether it's before the end of the match, whether it's in extra time. We need to ensure we get the next goal. The next goal is crucial to who goes to the final in this game. And that goal should be from the Nigerian boots. Like I said, Super Falcons have not been in this situation before at this tournament. We are yet to concede. It's the first time we are conceding a goal, so we exactly don't know how to play after continuing. We don't know how it feels to concede at the tournament. But now that we have conceded, it is now left for us to now come out and do the playing. The next goal is crucial. Whoever gets the next goal in these two of the two teams definitely has one hand in the final come Saturday.
I think it all boils down to quick decision making from the Nigerian players. A long ball into the box and almost there. Yes, it is. Great goal right at the dying moment. And it's in Deborah Abiodun.
We did say that probably she's come off the bench, and this time around, Deborah Abiodun has given Nigeria the second goal and possibly what will be the winning goal. Like I said, the next goal in this game is the most important goal, and that goal should come from a Nigerian boot. And just in additional time, it is Deborah Abiodun Kante, of course, who scores the goal for Nigeria. And I must say, this is what we want to see. I am sure we don't want to see extra time, even though we are enjoying this game so far. But it's better to be safe than to say, I know.
Just when it looks like it's all over,
beautiful cross there.
Deborah Abiodun steps forward and steps on the ball, and a beautiful goal to give Nigeria the lead. And then there might be a video assistant referee check, VAR check for a possible offside, and we hope it's not. For Michel Alozie, what a wonderful assist.
Well, it was Alozie's goal. Unfortunately, it was Alozie's goal.
Nobody had the touch.
Nobody had a single touch on that ball, not Deborah, not Yezo. It was strictly from the feet of Michel Alozie from almost halfway mark, and it's Nigeria who have the goal, courtesy of a brilliant shot from Alozie. Apologies, Coach Madugu again. I was shouting on my heels that Alozie should come off the bench of this game and let a player like Shukurat come in. But unfortunately, the coach now knows why. He's kept out on the field of play. And we probably seen a review to see whether the goalkeeper was impeded, I beg your pardon. But I don't think so. I think the goal will stand, and the goal should be credited to no other than Michel Alozie.
Decision still on the check. And it's actually confirmed the goal. And now Nigeria will have to defend with their lives. One step away into the finals of Mission X. And it's Michel Alozie with the goal. A dummy move there. Esther Koronko. And now is Ijalusi. Finds Rashida Tajiba. They delivers another cross. And the clock keeps ticking. Can Nigeria book a spot in the finals? And a player down. Could that be delayed tactics?
Most definitely delayed tactics. The referee has asked the medics to go back, and instead they've asked for the stretcher to come in and pick her out of the field of play. I think this is one of the smart things I like about African referees. You don't just waste time. The referee clearly knows that nothing is wrong with her, but play can't continue because the play was stopped. Instead, the referee will look at her time and say, don't worry, I'm pausing my time. However, a stretcher will come onto the field of play and take you out, and then let game progress. But good goal, I must say again, for Michel Alozie, and Mission X is definitely still on.
Yeah, that was not the best of decisions for the goalkeeper. Lamini, poor calculation on the flight of the ball. Most likely she thought either Deborah was going to have a touch on that ball and she was waiting for the final touch. But instead the ball just bounced off and changed the direction of the ball. And unfortunately, she was beaten. But fortunately for the Super Falcons, that is a match-winning goal. And they will just hold up tight to ensure up until the blast of the final whistle.
Like I said earlier, the next goal is the most important goal. And the most important goal is the goal that wins you this competition. And like we're saying, the goal has come from the boot of Michel Alozie. I think the referee has issued out a yellow card. That's the goal again on replay. Fantastic goal there. Evaded everybody on the field of play. Nobody got a touch to it. And it looks like the goal should be credited to Michel Alozie. And it was definitely credited to her. So good one for Alozie, getting her first goal in this tournament, also giving Nigeria what now means a chance and a place in the semi-final. Not yet, because South Africans do have another chance to attack.
Ihezuo now has been booked for delayed tactic. Ball still left in play. Ashley. South Africa looking for another equalizer. Poor pass and chance wasted. And one more substitution for Nigeria. Here's Wook.
Sikirat.
And
Sikirat Issa.
And Sikirat Issa bringing Sikirat Issa brought in for Ihezuo. As we look out for the sound of the final whistle.
Well, not a bad game so far, not a bad game at all. And we have the final whistle, Israel. It is Nigeria who are through to the final of the 2024 African Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco, following a 2-1 win over defending champions.
Signed, sealed, and booked. They came, they fought, and right at the end, at almost the final minute, Michel Alozie got the final decider. And right now, it's the Super Falcons of Nigeria, a spot at the finals, and Mission X, one match away. What word for the Super Eagles?
Well, fantastic game for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Massive kudos to the technical team led by Coach Justin Madugu. Once again, proving critic wrong. That he is the man, he is the X factor in the Mission X, the man to lead Nigeria, the man to prove to everybody that Nigeria can do it, and he's right there on your screen. Coach, of course, Justin Madugu. Why do I only want to say Christopher Danjuma? Justin Madugu showing Desire Ellis that Nigeria owns this competition. Nigeria rules this competition, and the defending champion, the Banyana, are out. What better way, what better place to put your revenge on a team like South Africa.
And when you look at every time the goal is scored either at the die minute. The first half goal from Rasheedat Ajibade came at the 46th minute when we all thought we were going into the end of the first half with a goalless draw. And then Rasheedat Ajibade stepped forward for a penalty, and then we got one. And then South Africa equalized. And then coming into the second half, we thought, okay, we're heading into extra time at a possible penalty shootout. But right there, Michel Alozie said, no, the time has come.
Well, correctly mentioned, Alozie said, no, the time has come. And the time surely came for Nigeria. I'm happy that the Super Falcons are through to the final. Of course, one more hurdle. We'll definitely be here on Saturday. But Saturday will be special for the final because we'll be showing you the game live, from the stadium. So come back to this page and enjoy the match. We'll bring you the match live and direct from the stadium as our team would have arrived in Casablanca where the final will be played, where we'll first leave Nigeria, and be rest assured that we'll bring you live coverage from the stadium in Casablanca where the final of this competition will be played. So follow us and subscribe on all social media handle. Don't forget that the highlights of this game will drop almost immediately after this show, the live show of this game. And also check our short videos. We've posted the first 2 goals scored, and the third goal is right about now coming up. If you missed the goal scored by Nigeria, Mission X is still very much possible. And after 90 minutes of good football, it is Nigeria who are through to the final. Tajman.
What a way to celebrate tonight. And it's still a very good one for me. On Friday, Nigeria defeated Zambia. I am still enjoying the euphoria of a newborn.
Well, of course, enjoying the euphoria of a newborn. Sadly, the only sad news in this particular game was the injury to Delgado for South Africa. It's sad because I could feel the pain of South Africans and all of that. But like they sometimes say in local palace, we no care.
All right, it's a beautiful one and a beautiful opportunity to have the sports commentary here alongside Adedakpo Abdulkadir Radio Ascension.
Well, thank you so much, my brother, for joining me on this journey. Hopefully, we'll bring to you the final. I can guarantee you that we'll bring to you the final when our team will touch down in Casablanca. Remember to follow us on all social